There we go. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
All right, good.
Yeah.
All right. So, like I said, welcome to public speaking. Have you guys, how do you feel about public speaking? Like, are you nervous? What kind of, are you afraid to do it? Are you guys kind of natural speakers and want to continue, try to get better at speaking? Or is it just plain just terrifies you just to even stand up in front of people?
I would say I'm somewhere in between. I'm not necessarily afraid to do it, but it's not, I don't jump up and down at the prospect of doing it. So
Yeah.
I dread public speaking.
Yeah.
Because I thought taking it online was like going to be easier instead of standing up in front of everyone.
Yeah. I'm a terrified type person.
So does it kind of give you like a rundown? I actually I used to be very scared of public speaking, actually for a long time. I did it. And what happened was I worked at Resorts Casino, like way back, like 2004, from 2004, right, to 2008. In between that time, I worked in the bus center. And I had to go on the bus and give this speech. And every time that I got on that mic, I was terrified. I still remember the very first time I got on the bus, I had my microphone, I was ready to give the speech, and I just stood there with the microphone in my mouth, next to my mouth, and I didn't say not one word. And next thing I hear is it's like 11 o'clock in the morning, and I hear a bunch of like elderly people say, "Get him out of here, he's weak, he don't know what he's doing," right? They just want to get off the bus. So that was my first experience trying to give a speech, and I had to do it for my job, and that made me a little bit nervous. But then afterwards, I just became more comfortable just talking in front of people, in front of large crowds. And actually, that's kind of what I do as a living, because I work in marketing. So I do a lot, especially in my previous jobs, when I was freelancing, I spent a lot of time speaking in front of different businesses, trying to pitch my ideas or trying to pitch collaboration. So I spent a lot of time talking in front of the room, in front of people. And what I can tell you is that the best thing that you can do is just be yourself. I think once you try to emulate someone else or emulate what you think you should be talking about is when you get very nervous. But that's something that, obviously throughout the course, we'll try to break down to where it's in a way where you learn different techniques to speak in front of people, and also just be more comfortable speaking in front of people. But I think the first step that I would tell you guys is just to be yourself. No one can be you, okay? So you always want to try to just project yourself as much as possible. You're not going to be Barack Obama in the way how he speaks, or even Trump in the way how he speaks. So I think a lot more people will appreciate you for how you say things and the way how you do it. All right. So number one question, right, is it a blow-off class? Second, will this class be fun? And what are you actually going to learn here? This is an online course, so it is a lot different. You don't actually have to be in the classroom. So you won't actually be facing people face to face. We will be trying to execute these speeches online. Can you guys hear me clearly?
Yeah.
Okay, because I know my birds in the background, they're going kind of crazy, so I'm sorry for that. But yeah, there's a lot to learn. Like I said, obviously you won't be speaking in front of people, and you will have the option of uploading your speeches. But I do think you're going to get more out of the class if you attend the lectures and actually talking in front of people. I think you trying to record yourself and then upload it, I think you'll find it harder because you're going to be seeing and playing it over in yourself and playing it over and over again, and then you're going to want it to be perfect. Whereas though when you're giving the speeches, it's okay if you kind of make a mistake and you just kind of keep on going with it. So will this class be fun? I think so. I think we're going to do a lot of fun things, given that it is only a 6-week course and we kind of have to move quickly. So there's a lot to jam into one class. Actually, that's one of the things I found difficult, is trying to shrink what was normally a 15-week course into 6 weeks. But there's a lot to learn. But I also think that you guys are going to be able to have fun with each other as we go through the speeches and critique each other. I think you're going to be very comfortable, and I think you're going to have fun meeting each other and talking with each other on the discussions. What can you actually use here? So I think overall, in a sense, for me, I speak because I have to, right? I'm in marketing. So I have to always kind of explain things. I think because of that, because I have to always do it, that has made it comfortable for me. For you guys in particular, I think it's going to be comfortable because you're going to be taking something that you didn't know that you had, the power that you had in your voice, and commanding it and speaking in front of people. I think you're going to be better communicators, which is my goal overall, is for you to become better communicators. I want you to be able to communicate whatever that idea is, even if it's for you, if you work at the hospital, not the hospital, a children's hospital, where you sometimes have to tell kids, right, or explain to the parents about how to do things and how to, I don't know exactly what the job details, but if you have to communicate something to someone and you're not clear on it, that's a communication breakdown. So that's what I'm hoping that between all this here, that you'll be more comfortable talking wherever you go. Doesn't matter where it is. Oh wait, why is it not going down? All right, here we go. So a little bit about me. I'm the first to graduate college in my immediate family. I graduated from Rowan University in 2009. So I'm old. I got my master's degree in Full Sail University. I have worked primarily as a social media and digital media communications, but I've done stuff from PR to design, which fits what I do now. I work at Ocean Casino Resort as the digital media manager. So all my kind of skills come into play in that way. Is more higher level where I'm creating the strategy. But just to give you guys kind of an idea. And I have two kids, 2 small daughters that I love. Well, not small, but because one is 15, but 2 daughters that I love very much. And my dog, my lady. Just to expand on more, which just to be honest, be clear, I left off some of the stuff that what my experience is. But just to give you an idea, I've written for Right Guard. I've written for 21st Century, the corporate. I helped worked on their Super Bowl ad. I've worked on there's a couple of brands that I worked with. Mount Airy Casino Resort. I've worked on Under Armour, was beautiful campaign. That came in a little bit older now, but that was more geared towards women at that time. And we won awards for that campaign. The list goes on and on. I've had my work featured in a lot of industry publications. Just give you guys kind of an idea. On top of this, I also do work for nonprofits. So I've worked with, right now I'm working with Random Acts, which is a global nonprofit. And we pretty much, it says what's in its name. We go around the world and try to help bring about change through acts of kindness. For example, we help get a bus to go pick up people who were 2 hours away in Chile. And they didn't have transportation. So we help work with leaders to help get that bus to pick up people so they can finish their high school degree. And you're talking about people who were 30, 20, whatever years old, who never was able to do this without that bus. So that's part of something I do that I do also on the side. You guys still with me? All right. So on this slide, I gotta ask you guys, what is your fear? I mean, did you guys know that public speaking is the biggest fear, everyone's top fear? No? Drowning, did you think drowning might be one of them? I didn't know this. I always thought that maybe heights or drowning might be one of them. But yeah, public speaking is a fear of everyone. I think everyone is afraid of public speaking. So if you're uncomfortable, that's okay. You're not going to be perfect, but I think that's something that as we go through the course, you'll be able to get better at. So if you could, you guys just kind of tell me a little bit about yourselves. Let's start with Tawana. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right, there you go. Yeah, if you could just, start with you. Tell us your name, something different, unusual about yourself, what scares you, your favorite food, why'd you take this class?
Okay, so my name is Tawana Baldwin, and I am a regional director for a dermatology group here in this area. Yes, please. And I have a 5-year-old princess who I absolutely adore. Something unusual about me. I don't know. I gotta think about that. My favorite food is chicken all day. I took the class because before this, I'm currently also a licensed practical nurse, and I'm trying to advance that. I want to go on for my nurse practitioner, so I needed a class for the program, for the nursing program. So I'm really excited about this class because I do a lot of public speaking, like at my church and for work. So I'm really excited about this class. I can't think of anything that's unusual about me. I don't know. I stay up all night. I don't need sleep. I mean, I don't know if that's, I'm literally, like, I can run on 2 hours. It's not a good thing, but I do. And that's about it.
Hey, it was nice to meet you. Glad to have you in the class.
Thank you.
Yeah. And thank you for everything you're doing in the field.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's a lot. It means a lot.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I mean, I think what you said is right. I mean, you're doing a lot. So am I. So I know how you feel when you say you can run off for 2 hours of sleep. Somehow you dig deep for the energy. You really do.
Exactly.
You reach limits you never knew you had.
I'm telling you.
And how about you? I can't see your name here. It doesn't show it. Hold on. Give me the layout. I can't see your names. They all disappeared. Okay. So how about you? I think you said you're in Galloway.
That was Tawana. I'm from Galloway.
Oh, I forgot. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. What's your name? Can you guys see my view? Alexis. Yeah, there you go.
I'm Alexis. I'm actually 18 years old. I started college in the springtime. Like I would go to night college because I honestly just want to get done. Like I hate school. I hate school. And my biggest fear is honestly public speaking because I know when I was little I had like a speech impediment. So like I feel like ever since that I've been so like not insecure, but like I guess you could say insecure about like speaking in front of people. Trying to think of what else. I work 2 jobs, so I'm always busy. And then I tried taking 2 classes in the summer. I didn't do that, so I had to drop Spanish.
Wow.
I like to be busy. Like during the whole quarantine, like I was so like bored. Like our family is a sports family, so we're constantly like moving and moving and moving. So just being home was like, what do we do?
Yeah.
That's really. And the reason I took the public speaking class is because I want to be a teacher. So like I need to like get over the fear of public speaking. So might as well just take it.
You're the second person who I've had pleasure as a student who wanted to be a teacher but was afraid of public speaking.
Yeah, it's my biggest fear.
But here's the good news. After the class, she told me that she felt very comfortable.
Yeah, I'm getting better at it. Like I try, but it's like I get all sweaty and nervous right before I'm about to talk.
Yeah,
and you can tell like if my face like once I'm about to talk, it gets like all red and like I start sweating.
And it's normal. It's going to be normal.
Yeah.
Okay, because it's uncharted territory, right? Anytime that you speak, you don't know what you're going to say. There's too many people. There's so many words running through your mind. You almost forget what's in front of you. So, yeah.
And like, I like speaking. Like if I like to talk about like what I talk about. I don't like reading from a book because then like it'll like get all in my head and I can hear myself reading and I'm like, oh my god, this is like. And I like stumble over words. I chop words up. It just. If I like just say it and like just go for it, that's better.
Yeah.
Like I can't prepare for it. I just gotta go.
Well, it's nice to have you in the class, Alexis. I think you're gonna learn a lot and hopefully be more comfortable speaking in front of people after this. So welcome.
Thank you.
And I can't see your name. I'm so sorry. It is. Oh no. The young lady from Rowan. Christine, there you go.
Yeah, I go by Chrissy.
Oh, Chrissy?
So, yep, I'm Chrissy. My last name is pronounced just like the letter C. Something different or unusual about me, I would say that I really, really like cold weather, and people don't ever expect that, especially because I was born in a tropical country. So it's completely unexpected when I tell people how much I love the snow and how my goal is to move to upstate New York at some point in my life. Something that scares me would be snakes and clowns. I absolutely despise both of them. I don't know what it is about clowns, but they terrify me. The snakes I can almost get over, but the clowns is not happening. My favorite food, I don't think I have one. I can tell you what I don't like. I don't like fish. That's also unexpected. I'm taking this class because I need it as part of the Rowan experience. I've never needed it before. I graduated from ACCC with associates in liberal arts or general studies, and I just didn't need it, and I've never been exactly afraid of it, so it just hasn't fallen into my curriculum. But Rowan does require it as part of the quote-unquote Rowan experience. So it's one of the few classes that I needed to graduate. I intended to take it in person, but unfortunately that fell through. And yeah, so my goal is to finish up my bachelor's and then think about grad school.
Nice. Well, it's nice to have you. I think what you said is spot on. With COVID, it has changed a lot of everything kind of that we do. I'm not even me thinking about what school life is going to be like afterwards, even once you do get back on campus for people. You know, how's that going to look? How's that going to feel? You know, is it going to be different? I'm a little surprised you don't like fish. The cold thing I can kind of understand. a little bit because I do know people who do love the cold. My daughter, she loves the cold. She loves the cold. Uh, uh, but I definitely don't. And the location you picked too was interesting. Upstate New York, which is, I don't know if anybody's ever been, is very beautiful. They have some very beautiful sites there that are really worth it.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
I love Ithaca. I love Syracuse. That would be, maybe I can just get a master's and teach at Cornell, and that could just be the rest of my life. And then when I retire, I'm going to put up like a little coffee shop with like used books. As long as you have good coffee and free Wi-Fi, the students will come. So I have like this whole retirement plan already.
So it sounds like Chrissy got it all planned out, y'all.
Come see me.
I don't know when the next time I'll be up there, but I'll definitely come check you out.
I don't know when I'll be up there either. So
no, but I think that's great. You know, you guys are all very interesting so far. So yeah, I'm glad to have you. Glad you have you all in my class. Really enjoy our interaction with each other. And how about, I'm sorry, I can't see your name either. It's not telling me.
My name is Kennedy. I'm 19 years old. Something different about me is I'm a huge horror movie person. I love horror movies. Something that scares me though is all bugs, any type of bug, especially sprockets. I don't do insects at all. My favorite food is probably buffalo chicken macaroni and cheese. The reason why I took this class is actually because I do have kind of a fear of public speaking and kind of got traumatized when I was a little kid when I was put on stage to speak in front of at a giant family reunion. So it's always been one of my big fears. So I'm trying to get over that and be better at public speaking and speaking in front of others. And my goal is that I want to transfer to either Montclair University or Howard University for occupational therapy.
All right. There's a lot of medical in this class. Yeah, that's great. Nice to meet you, Chrissy. I mean, bugs are weird. You know, I'm not gonna lie. You know, I see some, and my instinct is to step on them. But I think now that I'm a little bit older, I don't do that. I kind of just let them do their own thing, unless they're, you know. I try not to avoid to kill them if possible. I just kind of just put them out to go do whatever they're going to do. I feel like as long as I don't bother them, they won't bother me, type of thing. And so far, that's kind of been my relationship with all bugs right now. But yeah, no, it's definitely a pleasure. Buffalo mac and cheese. Huh. I'm not sure if I ever had that. Has anyone else had it?
It's really good.
I've had like buffalo chicken pizza, but
Yeah.
not buffalo mac.
Do you make this?
cheese. It sounds good though.
I make it.
You gotta share the recipe with us.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, I have to try this. So I love food. You God, I really love food, big time. So if we was in class, if you really wanted to get your way to my heart, you bring me some food and we'll always be friends. So just to let you guys know something, so I can answer some of the questions, even though I've shared some. My favorite food is sancocho. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with that. That is a dish that's normally served in Dominican Republic, and I kind of all it really in the tribal countries, because they also have a dish in Colombia and some other countries like that. But yeah, sancocho is one of my favorite foods, and I love French fries too. Like those are the two things that I feel like I can't really live without.
What is sancocho? Because we have that in Costa Rica, but I thought it was just like a mix of random things.
It is. It's like a stew. Yep. Yeah. It's literally like one of my favorite Their favorite foods. I love sancocho. Big sancocho fan. I mean, I love all foods equally. Like I love chicken, right? I love pasta. I don't think there's fish. There's not much food I don't like. um, uh, but those are the two that when I think of something that I really want, that I really never ever say no to, those are the two things. Sancocho and French fries. I can't say no to either one of those. But to be honest, I don't say no to a lot of different foods. So once again, I'm a big foodie. Something that scares me, I keep having this dream that, well, I can't say have it all the time, but every so often I have this dream where something is like I'm on a plane or in a car and something just comes crashing into me. So I keep thinking that that's going to happen eventually. Like I keep thinking like somebody's trying to tell me I'm going to be part of some type of crash somehow, some way. And I might be reading too much into it, but that's one of my fears right now. And you know, I kind of told you guys my story, so to speak. I also started out at Atlantic Cape Community College. I graduated Atlantic Cape in 2007. I graduated with 2 associate degrees, one in communication and one in general studies. The one in communication, I was the very first to ever graduate the program, which is interesting because now I'm back teaching it. So yeah, it's all a great experience. You guys ready? All right, moving on to slide 2. By the way, I gotta click this. Okay. So did you all have a chance to read the syllabus? All right, good. Yeah.
I've read the syllabus.
Yeah, I know that you're all. Wait, what did you say?
I did read the syllabus, yeah.
Okay, yeah. It's because I know I sent over the one, but then I sent over a revised syllabus. Just want to be clear on the optional, because initially what I was thinking that we weren't going to meet all the time, just on certain speech days, and then that you guys can do what you need. But I also wanted to have that element where we're all talking and meeting each other and saying the speeches in front of each other, because I think that's one of the better ways to do it. But yeah, like I said, I think public speaking is the key to everything that we kind of do, from you speaking with your friends to your family to your coworkers to your classmates. Everything you kind of do involves public speaking, so to speak. I think the fear that you get in public speaking is when you're doing it in front of a group of people and you're afraid of being judged. But to be honest, no one really cares. They only really care about the message that you're saying. Right? You are the one that's not being judged yourself when you get up there to say a speech. What you're saying is being judged. So keep that in mind. When you stand in front of people, you can say a million different things. I think the key is understanding that there's a line between you understand that what you're saying is being judged and not the overall person is being judged. Because you can deliver any message or whatever you're saying, but people ultimately care about what you're talking about. I mean, think about this. How many times have you been in a conversation with someone and they just keep rambling on? Doesn't matter if it's a friend or a stranger. And eventually you say, get to the point in your mind, right? As they're talking, because you're trying to be polite. But you're thinking, get to the point, get to the point, get to the point. You're not thinking of them until they don't get to the point, because you're judging them based on their content that they're saying. right? The message that they're trying to get out. The moment that they don't get to the point is when you start saying, why is this person getting to the point? And then you start noticing other things about them. Because you whatever they're saying is now lost. So I think is having and thinking that way, having a state of mind is going to help alleviate some of those concerns, because remember, you are not the one that they're worrying about. There is what you're saying that matters. You guys good with that? Any questions? No? All right. So the textbook. Have you guys been able to get this book? Not yet?
Unfortunately, when you go on the bookstore for Atlantic Cape, it gives you a whole different book, and I purchased that whole different book, and then your syllabus said something different. So
okay. Oh boy. All right, so if you could take a picture when we take the break, and if you can just send it here or
yeah, it's completely different.
Yeah, or email it to me. I'll have to find out more information because I was not made aware that we should use the book, because this is the book that I've been using. So thank you for sharing it. I'm sorry that you paid for it, but let's see what we can do. How long ago did you pay for it?
Well, I bought the online access. It's like, yeah, I didn't want the physical book, so I have like an online version of it, and I have like a year worth of access. It cost like $30. It wasn't a huge deal. But yeah, that's like when you go on the Atlantic Cape through the bookstore and you pick out like what classes you have and what books are required for that class. That's the book that it gives you. So, yeah. And I'd have to look at it on my computer, and I don't want to exit out of the Zoom meeting to find it, but I can email it to you later.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah.
Anyone else have this issue?
How much was the book that you ordered? Because I ordered one, it was an access code, and it was $42.99. I just went on like WebAdvisor, and then I clicked like public speaking, and it said textbooks for this class, and I just ordered that one.
Yeah, but it wasn't the one that he has on his syllabus, is it?
I haven't checked. I just know I ordered the one off the WebAdvisor. I'll have to check when I get home.
I paid like, I think I got it off a different website, and I think I got maybe like $30. I'm not really sure on the price.
Yeah. Mine was like $42.99.
Definitely not this one. I was surprised when I saw your syllabus and it was something completely different. I was like, whoa. So, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So we're gonna get this sorted out, guys. Don't worry. That's weird. Please text me. Please email me the books you have, and then we'll try to get it squared away. I wonder how many other people are having this problem. So I don't want you to not read the correct material. Actually, I have to try to call someone to find out what's happening. So you guys already know about the grading scale. So it's important that as we go through and we do these speeches, that you work kind of off of your outline. Your outline is kind of your guide, right? And we'll get into that. I'm going to upload some outline materials on Blackboard. Everyone has access to Blackboard? Okay, good. Yeah, that's where I'll be putting a lot of, that's where I'll be putting a lot of our assignments on Blackboard, so that you can easily have access to. So you'll be getting a sheet on exactly, hold on, someone was trying to join. Can y'all see that? It won't let me. Yeah, so it's important that you work off the outline. I believe in the syllabus I know I put in there a sample of what the outline is supposed to kind of look. No, I didn't. I'm sorry. No, I put yes, I did. There's a sample what the outline should look like. Do you guys see that on the syllabus? No? All right, so if not, I'm still gonna have some different materials to help you guys understand what an outline is and how it should be structured for the course. But basically, Perennius speaking is talking as you go. So think of it as this. When you're talking with your friends or whoever, significant other, whoever it is, you're talking on the go, correct? Right? You're not looking at any note cards, you're not reading from anything. You're really speaking as you go. This is the same type of way that you would be for your speeches. You guys hear me? Sorry again for the birds. But yeah, it's the same way, same technique you're going to use for your speeches, where you're really more or less having a conversation with everyone rather than speaking at them, because you'll be comfortable in what you're saying and how you're saying it. I think this, and part of it is that taking the time to practice your speeches too, knowing what you're going to say, how you're going to say it. It's okay if you mess up. What you shouldn't do when you do mess up on your speech or in the middle of what you're saying, you don't need to say, I'm sorry. You can just keep going. So even if you stumble over your words, it's okay. No one is going to notice until the moment you say, oh, I'm sorry. Because now you're making them aware that you've messed up and you brought it to their attention when really all they're doing is focusing on what you're saying. That makes sense? Yeah. So this style is what you should try to work towards. Just being able to be comfortable, just saying how you feel, and this kind of works hand in hand when I tell you that just being yourself. Just being yourself is the best thing that you can do, because you're naturally being who you are. All you're doing is talking how you would normally speak, but with more people. And if you're still nervous with that, think of it as this: when you're in front of the crowd, just focus on one person and treat it as if you're almost having a conversation with that one person. I think sometimes the moment that you start looking at everyone, you become more nervous. But if you kind of focus on one person, which is a technique that I've used like in the past when I was first starting, and I still kind of do sometimes. As long as you focus on that one person, it makes you speaking more easier because you're having a conversation. You guys good? Any questions? Concerns? It make you feel a little bit better?
I just sent you the email of the book.
Oh, thank you. So, okay, so that was you. Yep, I got it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hold on. Your speech, whenever you give them, at least in the class, you always want to open with an attention getter, right? And you should try to make it come within the first 10, 15 seconds. And your conclusion should be something that you can think out of the box, right? Think of any time that you have had a conversation with anybody, or even think of a speech that got your attention. If I say to you, hey, look, they're giving away free money, they're giving away money over there. you're gonna look, oh, free money, and then I would follow up and say, well, now that I've got your attention, we can do this. See, I got your attention just by focusing on something that was powerful. You can open with jokes. You can open with a number of things. For me personally, jokes sometimes doesn't always work. It can fall flat with a lot of different people, but it is okay if you can. Don't be afraid to try it. Don't be afraid to be yourself when you do give it. But attention getters, they make a big difference. Listen to even the way how I can say this sentence and how the difference can be. So if I say, John is a unique person, you should really take the time to get to know him, as opposed to, John is a great person. You should really get the time to know him. You see the two difference in the way how I use tone, dialect. I made one a little bit more, I spoke a little bit more confidently, more clear, whereas the other one was a little bit lower. So you wasn't going to be able to hear me as well. So try to think of those two things as you're giving your speeches. So this is important. I think this is important in the class overall, which is teamwork matters. Is important for you to be responsible all the time, and class participation. I think this class works best when we're all working together and doing what we can, and that involves when you do upload your speeches, that you give the critiques, you comment, try to help each other out because in this class you have the opportunity to try all these different things and it be okay. Whereas though, when you're not in the class, you won't be able to try all these different things, these different techniques and all in the way how you speak. You know, you'll be judged a lot harsher. So everyone is taking this class for all, various reasons. But, try to put that in your, to have that state of mind that you're all in this together. You can all learn from each other. All right. So hold on. Down. Oh, there you go. Okay. So I'm going to open the door for questions, and then we're going to go over the syllabus. You guys have any questions so far? No? All right. Well, first, before I even go on to the syllabus, do you guys even have questions about the syllabus? Okay.
No.
It's a lot. I did upload the assignments that you'll be doing already onto the site. I guess I'll kind of glance through. We can go like really quick through it. Oh, maybe it won't let me. There it is. So a lot of stuff we already went over. We went over attendance, as I explained to you guys. You don't necessarily need to attend the lectures. They're optional. Optional. But however, like I said, I think it'll be beneficial if you did. You can upload your speeches. As I spoke to you before, all lectures are recorded and will be uploaded to Blackboard for you to reference. And then you also have different materials to help you go through the speeches. So for attendance, wait, have you guys visited this site, by the way, yet?
I tried, but I need my Buccaneer email account, which I have no idea what the password is. I have to contact IT. I was planning on doing that tomorrow. So,
Okay.
in short, no.
All right. Okay. So I wonder if is anyone else having that issue with their email? Alexis?
My email's fine, like it works. I haven't tried logging into the thing that we upload the videos to though yet.
Okay.
I just haven't used my ACCC email for many years, so I have no clue what the password is.
Yeah. If you're not able to get in, let me know. I'll see if I can extend it to students outside of Atlantic Cape who don't have that email.
I think the email password is like, so mine's like AG because my initials, and it's like your birth date.
I tried.
And you add 4 zeros after that.
Yeah, I tried that, but I think that's like your very first password, and
I never changed mine. That's why.
It's been a very long time. Maybe rules changed now where like they don't make you change it. But I think maybe when I signed on initially many years ago, I must have changed it. Maybe. It's probably my own fault.
That's all right. I think that might be like a real easy, I'm hoping it's a real easy fix, but if you're not able to get in, let me know, because that is a place where if you're not able to attend the lectures or attend the days where we give the speech, you can upload it in there.
Okay.
Yeah. I know I have in here that you missed class on the assigned speech, but obviously, like I told you, that's optional. You don't have to attend, but you will have to upload your speech to the site on those speech days. So even if you're not going to attend our Zoom calls where you give the speech, and by the way, those Zoom calls they're probably some of our shorter days because of the speech. But if you're not able to be part of those Zoom calls where we give the speech, you will have to upload it to the site on that day. If it's not uploaded on that day, then it will fall into the count as being late. And then as you read do here, those when it's late, that's points off of your grade. So keep that in mind. I would recommend for you guys when you do record it. I don't know how you guys are going to record it, whether it be your phone or whatever it is. I suggest that you practice your speech first, then you say it, then you record yourself doing it, and then you can upload it. And I would recommend you do it prior to the day if you plan to not attend the speech day. I would recommend you do it ahead of time rather than waiting to the last minute, because the quality of your speeches has to be good, and I don't want you to run into a situation where you could have done something different, but you did it real quick, and you wasn't really fully able to do everything that you needed to do. So I think based on you guys, I think you'll be fine. And you're gonna have a lot of assistance. So if you don't understand something or you want me to look at your speech prior to you doing it, or you have some questions about your outline, whatever it is, because you have to turn in outlines of the speech, feel free to send them over and I will answer whatever questions that you have or give you any type of feedback. Sounds good? All right. So now what does happen after you upload your speech is that you have to you're going to have to provide a critique for speeches. So obviously, if you're not able to attend speech days, you would have to look at the video and then critique the students. These critiques, once you're finished, you just have to send them to me, and I will review them, and I'll leave comments from other students about the speeches, but that counts as part of your class participation grade, making sure you do those critiques.
So are the critiques going to be just emailed to you, or do we have to submit as an assignment on Blackboard? How will that work?
Yeah, so I mean, email is probably preferable, but if you want to submit it through Blackboard, that's fine, because I'm going to be checking it pretty frequently.
And how long do the critiques have to be?
I believe they're just about two, paragraph or two. I mean, paragraph is fine. So I'm looking like, when I say paragraph, I mean like 4 to 6 sentences. So yeah. And I know I gave in here some examples of how you can kind of go about it. Where, I want you to be able to say, when I say critique, I don't want you to say, particularly on a critique, like, this person did this. What I would rather you do was write a positive, but also a way how they can improve. Meaning, if someone is giving a speech and you hear them, like I did today, as I've been talking, I said a lot. If you hear someone saying a lot, you can offer a suggestion for them not to say You can say, hey, if you have a bottle of water with you, which is acceptable, that's fine for you to drink it as you talk, because that'll help you not say a lot. You guys, that makes sense? Yeah, so always look to help to not just, as you give these critiques, look for what any negative to turn into how they can get better, because this is something that they'll use. FYI, when I do get your critiques, I will share some of them with the students, but they will not have your name on it. So say for like you, Alexis, you did a critique on Chrissy and you submitted it to me. I will then share it with Chrissy, but it will not have your name on it. You guys good with that? All right. It's weird because I can't see all of your faces. So I don't know if you're not or not. Also understand that your speech has to be within that time frame. So for example, your one speech that's coming up about yourself has to be between 2 and 4 minutes. You're allowed a grace period of a minute over or a minute under. But you have to reach that limit. If you don't, points will be taken off of your speech. You guys got it? All right. And this is the part where I wrote about critiques. All right, like I said, that counts towards your class participation grade. So critiques, commenting, like I'll constantly be checking that site that I share with you, or even on Blackboard, where I want to make sure you guys are interacting with each other, because even though we're not physically interacting with each other, I think we can still emulate that online. So I think it's important that you continue to go on, give constructive criticism, try to help each other out on how to improve. But once again, we're all in this together. I'm pretty laid back in that way, and I want to help you all succeed. I really want you all to become better speakers at the end of the day. So, I'm really going to go out my way to make sure I can help in any way possible. And I want everyone to kind of also be able to help each other out too. So a little bit also that we talked about, you have 5 speeches. Your speech introduction, which is going to be about yourself, as be between 2 and 4 minutes. A PowerPoint is not required for it, but if you want to put together a small PowerPoint, and share, I'll be happy to share the screen with you, or share the screen for you, or you share the screen, and then you go over your speech together. You go over your speech, you say your speech, and we can go over it together. I'm more than happy to do that. If not, always feel free to email it to me, and I will look over it as you give the speech. So just to give you guys an idea. I think this one is only count a few percentage points off your grade. I would tell you, don't stress so much on this first speech, but you should definitely try to do your best. But don't be worried because this one it doesn't count as much towards your grades. Then we move on to the demonstrative speech, this informational speech, nominations, persuasive. I don't remember for persuasive. This is kind of going to be your final, where basically we're going to have topics that I'm going to put together. I'm going to share a document up on Blackboard soon, and more likely I'll email it to you guys as well. Basically, there's going to be topics. One person is going to be arguing for or put together a persuasive speech for the pro side of that topic, and then the other person is going to be against it. So you have one person talking about, so say it could be having video games in school, and how that is going to help you develop your skills as a kindergartner. One person will talk about the pros of it, the other person will talk about the cons. And you can work as a team on this. When I say team, meaning that you both help each other put together arguments, like good arguments for each other, so that you're putting together a good quality, like kind of back and forth. But even though you can work as a group, you will be graded individually on these speeches. But you'll be partnered up with everyone.
Will you be assigning the topics for this, or will we have to pick our own topic?
So I'm going to have a bank of topics that you can pick. But if you want to go and pick your topic, feel free. I'm going to have you guys up until next week, or maybe the following week, be able to pick your topic. Once again, we only have 6 weeks to get through it. So I want to make sure that you have everything you need to get the assignment done. Because this is your persuasive speech counts the most towards your grade. So this is what I was saying. I put a sample of what your outline will look like. I also have a document that I'll upload. It's basically cover page, your name, the course, date. You're gonna have some bibliography of a short. Like I said, your document is your outline is basically like your plan. How you're gonna go over your speech. It's not so much that your speech is written out, but your outline is like bulleted points of what you're going to be saying. We'll go into this later in the class, but I just wanted to touch base so you guys have a better idea of like kind of what to expect. And once again, I'll be uploading this on Blackboard. Any questions about the grading? Like I said, your first speech is only worth 5%. Then your regular speeches are about 15% apiece, except for your persuasive speech, which is 25%. Class participation is important, is equally as important as your speeches. I think this is a big thing. Any questions on the schedule? No? Okay. So you had spoke before about not being able to get the book, and you have to read about the 5 canons for us to have the quiz. I'm going to find out like right away after we get off this, or we finish our class about the book to see what the differences are, because then if so, I don't imagine that there'll be much of a difference from talking about the 5 canons, but if it is, I'll let you know, and I'll let the class know, because the quiz is going to come up, and if everyone is not able to have it, I may move the quiz to next following week, but we'll see. You guys good? Any questions? All right. So let's just say you're falling behind, or whatever the case is, you want more points. Also added a section for extra credit. So everything here in this box is opportunity for you to earn more points. Not mandatory, is all it is extra credit. If you want to do it, just let me know, and then we'll work on some topics for you to do. All right. So now, I'm going to take a quick kind of a break, but with this break, I want you guys to kind of describe to me, if you can, or what would you hope to get out of this class? Now that we've gone over the syllabus, we've had our introduction, and before we move on to the next lecture. So we'll start from Hattie, Chrissy, and then Alexis. You guys can kind of tell me what you're hoping to get out of the class, and yeah, we'll move on from there. Hattie, you want to start?
Sure. It's actually Kennedy. This is my aunt's computer.
Oh, what is it again? I'm sorry, because it just
Kennedy, like President Kennedy.
I thought it was. I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. My hopes to get out of this class is just a better understanding of how to talk in front of large groups of people, and as well as, usually I'm a very shy person, so when I meet new people, I'm very like quiet and closed in, so I'm trying to be more outspoken and have more, like, I guess, base, and be more like openly able to talk to others and not be so quiet, and kind of like, I'm like the kid that would go sit in the back of the classroom to not be picked on. So I'm trying to be better at my communication skills, I guess.
Well, I can tell you one thing. You're already doing it. So you're already kind of speaking to us. You're doing a good job. So we just gotta after out of class for you to continue doing what you're already doing right now. So I feel like you're up on a good start.
Thank you.
Yeah. How about you, Chrissy?
I am also the girl who sits in the back of the class. I guess I just don't like being the center of attention. I don't mind the public speaking part once I'm up there and I'm talking about my topic, whatever it may be, especially if it's something that matters to me. It's not so difficult, but I don't like all eyes on me. So I think that's the discomfort level that comes with public speaking for a lot of people, just the fact that everyone is watching you. So hopefully I guess I don't know if that's going to happen with online, but it's totally different when you walk out in the room of people and literally everyone is looking at you. And I think that's probably the hardest part, just getting over that initial, oh my gosh, everyone is looking at me, pretend they're not there type feeling. But like I said, once you start talking about your topic and if it's important to you, it usually just everyone just kind of blends into the background.
Yeah. I think the moment you start talking about whatever it is, it flows. Whatever you're saying flows and comes naturally. I think that's part of just you kind of being yourself because you're talking about something that you're kind of passionate about. But to be in my line of work, I haven't always had the pleasure to talk about something that I'm necessarily like passionate about. So I still had to bring that type of enthusiasm and energy there, which is very difficult, especially when you're trying to win business. But
I'm a terrible salesperson.
huh?
Yes, I'm a terrible salesperson. Would you like? No? Okay, I'm sorry I asked.
I mean, I think overall, for especially listening to both of you guys, I think once again, just try to keep in mind that even though everyone's looking at you, they're really just concerned about what you're saying. It's not really yourself they're judging, whatever you're wearing and all that. As long as you come and you deliver that message, nothing else matters. And I think that's what you should try to focus on is what you're saying, not so much how you're saying it, because that's not a concern to anyone. So try to keep that in mind. How about you, Alexis?
So usually in school, I'm the one that, like, if we're presenting, I'll wait for everyone to go, and I'm like the last one to go until I get called one. So like I kind of want to get over that fear. Like I want to, like, after this class, like I want to be able to say, oh, I'll go. Like I'll volunteer to read or I'll volunteer to go first. I just want to lose the fact, like, instead of being scared to talk in front of people, I can do it. And like, I don't know her name, but like she said she's like shy. So when she like meets people, she's like quiet. I'm like that too. Like I don't like in big groups, like I won't talk really. I'll like hide out in the back. So like when I like after this class, I want to like be able to like talk in a big group and like make myself like the center of not center of attention, but like noticeable, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's a scary thing, especially when I think the first thing I would tell you guys too is that the moment that you put yourself in that mindset, that mind frame that you're going to be the center of attention, that what carries and sticks with you. And you basically have that through it. It kind of cripples what you're going to say because that's what you're worried about. I think if you go into whatever it is that you're going to say or how you're going to say it, just talking about whatever that is. So even once we get out of the call and you go and talk to whoever it is, when you speak with that person, you're just thinking about what you're going to, what you've already predetermined to say, right? You know, whatever that topic is, you've researched, you have a good idea, so it comes out pretty easily. So part of it is knowing what you're going to say, and then just focusing on that, because research is key to anything. If we had a conversation right now about bugs outside, right? I think we could all go on about different things, different variations of whatever bugs are, but we can probably keep going and talk about it. Talk about why there's so many different bugs. How are we going to do this with this? How they invade your house, right? Whatever, and how you love them. I think that, or not like them. We can go on and on. think about how I just presented that information, right, is bugs. And we're talking about bugs. It's something that you already know about. So when you're going to go speak and you know about what it is, you'll be a lot more comfortable saying it. Sounds good? All right. Hold on, I have to bring up the other PowerPoint. Here it is. Yeah, I only booked this for a short time period. All right. There's a form that I'm going to give to you guys that I'm also going to upload. And it's basically, and I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with it. Have you heard of PRPSA? Basically, it is a fear of public speaking, anxiety that you get from public speaking. And I want you guys to kind of fill that out. I'll be sending an email out about that. And just return it to me. I actually may, instead of just sending it out, I may do it on a Google form, because I'm not sure if everyone can fill out and then scan it back and upload it, or use the PDF for Adobe. So I probably may just do it in Google Forms, but it'll help me understand what your level of anxiety and your fear is for speaking. I think that's going to be great for you guys to do, and that's not due yet. It's a shame you guys don't have the other book. All right. Okay, I'm trying to share the other screen. Here it is. You guys see it? You guys see the screen? Okay.
Yeah, we do.
All right, awesome. So the 5 canons. Has anyone ever heard of the 5 canons? So they're kind of like the pillars of your speech. They kind of set the standard, your guidelines for how you should be speaking. The 5 canons was developed near Greek times, the Greek time period. Because at that time, Romans and Greeks were Romans were figuring out how important public speaking became part of society, and how it was really valuable for everyday life. So Socrates, all these guys who were great public speakers and philosophers, they had mastered that art of public speaking, and that led to the development of the 5 canons. 5 canons: invention, creating the speech; arrangement, organizing the speech; style, choosing the way how you effectively say the speech; in memory; and in delivery. Invention, when I say invention, when you're creating the speech, what does that mean to you guys? Anyone want to answer? Hands up. No? Well, basically, it is as it states. You're creating the speech. Whatever that topic is, you're writing about that speech. This is important. I mean, all the 5 canons are important because you create the speech and then you have to arrange the speech, right? It has the flow. So even if you have an idea for a speech, wherever it can be, hand sanitizer, right? Say I'm gonna have a speech about hand sanitizer. But what about hand sanitizer? You know, how are you gonna write the speech? What about hand sanitizer is interesting? Or what people are gonna find value when you do talk about hand sanitizer? You know, are you gonna talk about how hand sanitizer sales have exploded and how hand sanitizers have always been around in bunch of different ways? How are you going to do that? And that's the first idea is what are you going to talk about with that topic, and then organizing the flow. So meaning, yeah, you're going to write a speech about hand sanitizer, but what comes first? Is your introduction going to be on the creation of hand sanitizer? Are you going to introduce hand sanitizer, like the importance of it and how it's been over the years? Or are you going to lead into something a little bit more funny, into saying, well, you know, hand sanitizer changed my life, right? So there's different ways you can go about it. I think it's important that you organize it and put it in a flow. Where you start from there, then you work on the body, to help support that main idea. So you talk about hand sanitizer, how important it is and how you change your life. Well, what now the body goes, well, how did it change your life? And then the second part is the conclusion. You know, how you're ending it. They're all critical points to having a great speech. And style, how are you going to deliver? Are you going to be one of the ones that, you know, you come and you're being funny and you're being energetic? Are you going to be straight down to the point? Or are you going to be, when I say straight point, more serious in the way how you speak and your tone? I think your method may be different. For me, which I mean, I've been talking in front of the camera is a little bit weird. If I was standing up in front of the classroom, you see me do it a lot. I talk with my hands. I talk with my hands a lot. I'm talking about a lot. For you, your style may not be talking with your hands. Your style might be just you standing and walking around as you speak. Your style might just be kind of standing still. I think in part of that, as we go through the course, you're going to learn what your style is and what's effective for you. You're going to learn that moment, that place that you can go to where you feel comfortable just speaking and just talk from there. Unless you already have a style. Chrissy sounds like she has a style already. But she may not know if she has a style or not, because as she said, she hasn't really practiced public speaking. Kennedy, you may have a style already. Maybe your style is the moment that you get up and you speak, you forget about everything else, you know. And then the same thing with you, Alexis. It can be a number of things that can help you in developing your speech style in the way that it works for you, works with your personality, and more importantly, the way how you communicate with people. Because overall, your speech, you're trying to communicate with people, no matter what it is. Public speaking, your job is to go, when you're delivering a message, for that person to receive a message. If someone tells you to take out the trash, right? If someone tells you to take out the trash, if they say, may you please take out the trash, you may be more inclined to go take out the trash. Where if someone says, go take out the trash, you may say, well, why should I take out the trash? So you understand, like, those are two different ways to say something. I think you developing that style will definitely happen over the course of over the course of our class. And then memory, right? So memory is important because this is you taking the time to try to research your speech, learn what you're talking about, and then it's not so much the memorization of your speech, but you understanding what your speech is about so you can easily talk about it. Or I should say, whatever the topic is, not so much your speech, but whatever it is that you're talking about, you can easily talk about it because you already have the information. You're able to tap into what you know and deliver it or communicate it to whoever it is. So if you go into ShopRite and you're looking for something, you're looking for bread. Well, if you go in and that person is already doing something, and you come in and you say, hey, it's not bread. I'm gonna say baruch buns. You guys know what baruch buns are, by the way? All right, they're very good, like hamburger buns. They're delicious. So they say, you know what baruch buns are. That person does. So now, this is how you engage in public speaking. How can you communicate to this person what baruch buns are? Just like you, or some of you have, you've never even heard of it. So how can the person that works at ShopRite, who maybe never even heard of it, know what you're saying? This is where the parts where you talk about what the baruch bun is. You say, it's this type of bun that looks like this. It's different from all the other buns. And maybe you even take a step further and you show them a picture. You're communicating all these ideas, and you're communicating all these ideas to the person. That's part of memorization. And not so much memory is not so much that you're memorizing something. It's you understanding what it is that you're talking about, and that you can communicate it effectively, whether you bring in pictures or not. And in delivery, so we kind of touched on a little bit, is you and how you're delivering that speech. As we talk about, are you gonna be funny? Are you gonna say it in a be more stern, or are you going to include jokes? Are you going to include facts? Are you going to include statistics? The way how you deliver that speech is important. The same way how I said the same message about taking out the trash. There's a big difference in being asked to take out the trash and being told to take out the trash, right? Two different deliveries, same message, two different deliveries will generate a different reaction. And it's the same thing when you talk to people. You give a message, whatever it is, everyone is thinking differently. One person may think another thing, one person may think another. That is when you try to communicate that across the board, but you communicate a central idea across the board. Guys got it? Any questions? All right, good. You guys still with me? So as we go more into intervention, it's all about you. Think about this. When you're going to go talk and your audience, think about it. When you speak, sometimes you may act different in front of your friends as opposed to when you're at work, talking with coworkers, or when you're at home, talking with other people, or when you're out and about. There's a big difference to who your audiences are when you're speaking. So think about that when you're ever going to go see a speech. Who's going to be your audience? Are you going to be talking in front of a class? Are you going to be talking in front of friends, or whatever it is? Think about that as you go through. And then also, the purpose, choose your topic. Understanding what is expected, try ideas. Here's another tactic. Before you give your speech, practice it in front of people. a lot of times I will even start out in the mirror for some of you who may be afraid to even practice at that point. Sometimes I'll practice in the mirror, giving my speech before I move on to the next thing. But you can also, if you have family members, don't be afraid to practice it, right? And your speeches should always inform, reinforce, persuade, and entertain. Your speech should always have these 4 major points. I'm gonna kind of rush through because we're almost hitting our point here. When you give your speeches, try to focus on personal experience and tell the story. Would you guys say you're good storytellers? Yeah, it is. I think always drawing from your personal experience is a big thing. People will relate to it faster as you're giving your speech. You know, we talked about outlining your ideas, connecting the dots. That's kind of what your outline will look like. Introduction, the body, the speech, the points, but they're not all written out. They're basically like bullet points, but with information. I'll be sharing some examples of what your outline will look like. Right, intro, body, conclusion. That's your outline. And you should know for your conclusion, there should be a summary. You make it memorable. How can you close out your speech? Right? What is the best way to close out your speech? Are you going to leave it with a question? Are you going to go ahead and give the people a hard, like, driving thought that leaves them wanting more, or not, or leaves them kind of mystified, or something powerful that you can tie them together? You know, and we talked about this again, you know, what is style? Occasion, audience, you know, you don't want to try to offend anyone as you're speaking, because what you may be important to you, or the way how you define things, may not be the same for anyone else. Right, and we talked about that, deliver no memory, outline. So as you're giving your speeches throughout the semester, it's okay for you to have note cards. However, I don't want you to have the note card in front of you as you're giving your speech, right? You shouldn't be like this the entire time. Try to remember, but use them as reference points. So they say if you are giving your speech and you have it, it's okay. I'll look. It's okay for you to glance down every so often and then move on to the next thing. Right? And we talk about delivery, eye contact, no monotone smile, be conversational, understand time limits. We talked about that too, about how some people just kind of keep rambling on. There's no point. They don't get to the point. So, you know, that's all part of the delivery. And we talked about it, rehearse. So what would be the easiest for you guys, you think? Rank it from easiest to hardest. We'll start with you, Kennedy.
I think for me, maybe the easiest would probably be creating the speech. I'm really good at like figuring, like writing stuff out and figuring how to word things, but the hardest for me would be delivering it, because when I'm like in front of other people, I get really red and nervous, and like I kind of tense up and freeze. So delivering it would probably be the hardest thing for me to do. Whereas in creating it wouldn't be as hard.
Interesting. Hmm. Well, we're going to revisit this. We'll see if this changes for you. How about you, Chrissy?
I think for me, the easiest part would probably be the arrangement. Once you've come up with a topic, arranging the materials, it's kind of the easy part because it's sort of, I don't want to say mindless, but your information is already there. Now you just have to put it in a way that it flows. So I imagine once you have all the tools, it's easier to put it together. So I would probably say arrangement seems to be the easiest one. The invention, the style, I think that's kind of together because as you're creating your speech, all of these things that you have to take into consideration are part of the creation process. So for me, I think the invention, the style, that is sort of blending together, and that's probably so the arrangement, the easiest, the next part would be that. And then the hardest would be the memory and delivery, because I also think that those two sort of blend together. As you're delivering, you're working with your own brain to make sure that you remember everything you want to go over without missing any big points of your speech.
Yeah, no, I think you're both, and it's interesting to hear your different responses. For me, memory has always been one of the hardest parts for me, even now for some of the speeches. But because I do and take so much pride in research and how I research, that is no longer like a really hard thing for me to do, but it's still one of those things where once I step up, because I try to make so many different points that sometimes that does get lost. I think for you guys, we'll see. We're going to revisit this to see if this changed or not. Part of it in which you'll get a feel for is listening, understanding. I think to be a good communicator in general, you need to listen. You need to listen a lot. For you guys, you work in the medical field. Kennedy, did you say you're working?
Yeah, I work at TJ Maxx.
Yeah, so I mean, you both kind of interact with the public a lot. So I think, this skill is probably one of the most important ones for you to have, taking the time to listen to people. I'm not sure that people do this enough. I think if people listen more to each other instead of reacting to what people are saying, I think you'll have better discussions.
It's just the key between sympathetic and empathetic. We have to try to be more empathetic, less sympathetic.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. So I hit on the head. Yeah. So I think this is important for you to take the time to listen, to understand, get the right information, and you'll notice as you're going. I mean, well, this is different because this is online, but when you do come back and we able to do it on Zoom and you give your speech, you'll see people the way how they're looking, and you can deliver the speech through there, and then you'll also be able to get critiques and take the time to listen to what they're saying in the critiques, because that's going to help you become a better communicator. So the question is, how well do you listen?
I guess it depends on who's talking.
Yeah, I agree with that statement.
What'd you say, Kennedy?
I agree with that statement.
Out of all my classes, that's the best response I think I've got. Even I'm kind of speechless on that one. I mean, yes, that is true. I guess it does kind of depend on who's a communicator. I mean, who's talking to you. I have, at least for me, I try to take the time to listen to everyone. But at the same time, I have my limit where I say, okay, what is this person? I ask myself, what is this person trying to say? What's the point? right, of what they're doing. And then I reach the bottom. Is this now worth my time? And once all those boxes are checked off, okay, it's time for me to leave the conversation. So yeah, that's a very valid point. But yeah, definitely, even now as we talk, and we've been talking this whole, I've been talking a lot. Okay, so out of everything that I said, I'm even hoping that you guys will recall 25% of this conversation.
I think part of the problem is a lot of the time people are already programmed to hear certain things too. And if they can't actually hear what you're saying, they go by your tone and your expressions, facial, hand expressions, all of those things. And they think they know what you're going to say. I can't tell you how many times I've asked the patient, how are you feeling today? And they'll be like, oh yeah, I'm great. Like, and they don't even know what I'm asking. Or I will say, what medication are you taking? Oh, I'm doing great, thank you. They automatically expect me to ask one question because it's what they expect. They're programmed to think this is what I'm going to say next. And so they answer what they think should be answered, but they don't actually hear me. They don't actually listen to me. They hear me, but they don't listen to me. So I think that's also something that it's a barrier when you're speaking with other people. You have to try to get your point across.
Yeah, I agree. I think, and that's what we kind of talked about before, is that frame of mind that people have. And some of this is cultural. Some of this is social, where they live, how they do things. This is all impacts the way how you're already thinking, and also their state of mind. But then that goes back to, what we talked about. People have to take the time to listen. People don't do it enough. So that actually is the end of that for the 5 canons. And I think this is going to be the end of the line for our call today. We went over quite a bit, I feel like, and like I said, I know I've been talking a lot, and I can't see all of your faces and how things are going, but we definitely hit everything that I wanted to discuss during this. But I'll leave you guys to any time for us now to, if you want to ask any questions, let's do it. No questions?